Welcome to Phoenix International Raceway, the Valley of the Sun. We're in Phoenix, Arizona, here on Speed. Time for the 26th annual Copper World Classic, our first ever coverage of the United States Auto Club on Speed. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin, joined by IRL and open wheel great Davey Hamilton. Good to have you with us for our season opener. We were supposed to cover last week's Midget race at Ventura in California, but they had monsoon-like rains. No problem with that this weekend. It's a beautiful place, and this may be one of the neatest tracks Midgets run on.
This is the Indy 500 for Midgets, as far as I'm concerned. I always love coming here and running the Midgets. Very unique track, very fast, and they usually put on a great race.
25 laps, 25 miles is our distance. Let's show you our quick qualifier here this weekend, a name very familiar to USAC open wheel fans. This is J.J. Yaley. He races out of Phoenix, one of Bob East's Fords.
Those cars are always fast here. They've won this race many times, and J.J., he put a great lap together, and he's got two other teammates who are going to give him a challenge for this race.
Now, he's on it pretty hard here. The car seems to be wiggling just a little. Didn't slow him down.
That's how those Midgets are. They wiggle the whole time around. They're small little bullets, and you drive them the whole time. You don't just hang on and try to aim them the right direction.
With a lap of 26.653 seconds, 135 miles an hour, puts J.J. Yaley on the pole. And he's standing by with our pit road reporter all this year, Dave Argabright.
Well, J.J. Yaley is indeed a hometown favorite. He's carrying some payola here in an envelope for that pole award. What's the plan here, J.J.? Do you try to lead every lap in a race like this?
It'd be nice. You know, the Team ASC Ford's been running great all weekend, and you know, the crew's worked really hard. So, you know, as a payback to them, I'd like to get out in the lead of this thing and just let my teammates follow me and take this thing to the win.
Are you at all concerned about saving the tires for the end in a 25-lap race?
This year, I think we're going to have to. We've got a new tire that's a little bit harder than what we're used to running, and from practice, we've noticed the longer we've run, the looser the race cars have gotten. So, you know, the first part of the race, you know, we're going to take it as easy as we can. It's depending on what the competitors are going to do to make us pick up the pace a little bit. But we're going to take it easy and make sure we have something there for the last 5 to 7 laps, and see if we can keep all those other manufacturers behind that Ford.
Well, we will see Yaley and just a host of other great young stars get on the gas in just a few moments. Let's grab a quick timeout. We'll be right back with coverage of the USAC Midgets here on Speed. And welcome back to Phoenix International Raceway here on Speed. Coverage of the United States Auto Club National Midgets alongside Davey Hamilton. I'm Rick Benjamin. Dave Argabright on pit road. We've got nearly a 30-car field ready to do battle. These cars will draft. They're very, very fast. We told you J.J. Yaley ran 135 miles an hour to take the pole in a tiny race car. These are 4-cylinder motored race cars. Yaley on the pole in the 9, the white car. Dave Steele from Tampa, Florida, lines up alongside in Dino Tomasi's Mopar. Second row, Bobby East, another of the Steve Lewis cars. The 19, Tracy Hines from Newcastle, Indiana, in the black number 11. Dave Darland and Jay Drake make up row 3 in the 91 and the 71. Fourth row, Steve Patton from California in the 0 car. And Michael Lewis in the 76. He's from Noblesville, Indiana, many-time champion around Central Indiana. Dan Drynan, who's built several of these cars, will start inside the 5th row of the 33. Brian Gerster has the 5 car alongside. He'll line up in 10th spot. Josh Wise in the 94. Ron Gregory, last year's co-rookie of the year in the 22. He'll start in 12th. 13th starter, Dane Carter, one of the 2 sons of Pancho Carter in the field today, and Aaron Pollock in the 64. Your 8th row looks like this. Ryan Scott in the 3, Dave Goff in the 82. And as we move back to row number 9, as you see the qualifying times, Johnny Rodriguez in the 30, he's a West Coaster, and Teddy Beach in the 125. Beach will carry one of our onboard cameras. Van Nill in the 43, Andy Everts and Bill Christie make up the 11th row. AJ Fike and Bud Kading, that's a row to watch back in the field. Jim Anderson, Stuart Birkenbein, Travis Roberts, Matt Manners, and Cole Carter, Pancho's other son, in car number 7. Pace car is in, 25 laps to go. Patton swings out of line. We are underway. Look at him scramble. Trouble. Big trouble coming to the stripe.
And you hate to see that happen. Oop, got a car upside down. Wow.
One midget wildly down the front straight.
Tells you how fast they're going right there. You know, you think that it was barely going at the start of a race, but you've seen the speed and just kept flipping over. Hopefully everybody's okay in this.
6 cars involved as they came to the stripe here at Phoenix. Now the front straightaway at Phoenix does narrow up considerably. And there's the 17, Dane Carter from Brownsburg, Indiana. He's out and okay. We see the Budweiser car. Several of the drivers out. Some guys just spun to a stop. Everybody jumped on the brakes when they saw the scramble starting there. There's Kading, the 57. Contact with Dan Drynan, we're being told, is what might have started all this. So we'll try to get another look at it for you. Davey, first race of the year for these guys. Everybody wants to get to the front quickly. You can see a lot of cars jumping out of line. I guess that's what caused it. Let's take a look as they come to the stripe.
Absolutely. Everybody's saying, well, you know what? It looks like Danny Drynen's car didn't take off. It looks like maybe he had some problems, and then everybody's coming down for the green and on the gas. So it's really a racing incident. Unfortunately, obviously, Danny was on the gas, but it wasn't going. So, and boy, what havoc. Well, that's quite a tip over right there. Hopefully, like I said, everybody's okay. They look like they are. A few of the guys may be able to get back out, just trying to spin to avoid.
Work still going on here on the front straightaway. Another view as they came to the green flag. And you could see the cars going up over each other's wheels, getting launched. These cars are very stoutly built, of course, full roll cages. Many of the drivers wearing the Hans device. There's all kinds of restraints in the cars now, and much safer race car. Here's another look.
One thing about these cars is, like I said, they're open wheels. It's not like we could rub on each other and like the finish we seen last week in the USAC Cup. You cannot do that in these cars. You do that and you tip over, as you see here, and they were going fast. These cars are going very fast, even though, like I said, it didn't look like they were going that fast on the start of the race, but they're getting on there really well.
Well, there's the 57 of Bud Kading. He's out of that car, and he is fine.
Looks like Cole Carter there. He's okay. Doesn't look like he's in a hurry to work on the car.
Even when the cars look okay, and the trouble, the car that went over so many times, the 55 machine, that's Travis Roberts from Evergreen, Colorado, the Wintergreen Construction Esslinger engine beast, and he is out of the car talking to the safety crew.
That's one thing. He's trying to figure out which way's up.
Yeah.
I haven't been upside down a lot, but when you go upside down, you see sky and track, and you just hope it stops quickly. But I've never been upside down really hard like that on pavement. It's usually just a small tip over or something. So he definitely had quite a ride there.
And there you see the 94 of Josh Wise from Riverside, California. Eric Wise's pink Chevy motored beast, and he is stopped against the inside retaining wall. So it's going to take a moment or two to clean up the racetrack and get the field realigned. We'll find out how many of these drivers will be able to take the green. No laps completed. We had a big wreck coming to the start. Wild action at Phoenix. We'll be right back here on Speed. Welcome back to Phoenix. Coverage of the USAC National Midget Series here on Speed. Alongside Davey Hamilton, I'm Rick Benjamin. Initial green flag, things didn't work out the way anyone had planned, Davey.
That's not the way we wanted to see it. You know, a lot of times this race will go nonstop 25 laps. Unfortunately, one car didn't take off right in the middle of the pack, and guys didn't have anywhere to go.
What we're hearing from pit road is that perhaps Dan Drynen's car didn't come up to speed when the green flag came out.
Absolutely. It looked like Danny's car, obviously he was on the throttle and he was going straight, but something must have broke or happened to lose power and cause a traffic jam.
Well, you could see Travis Roberts waving to the crowd as he headed off to the ambulance. Field realigning, getting ready for a restart. Dave Argerbright has caught up with Travis Roberts, who is out of the infield care center. Dave?
Travis, obviously an unfortunate accident. What happened?
Coming down for the green flag, I saw a couple of guys get into it up on the top end of the raceway there, and I went down low to try and avoid everything. And as soon as I got up next to the wall, a car came across, got tied up with him, and all I saw was sky ground, and that was about it. Ended up upside down and had to wait for someone to roll me over, but I'm okay. And we'll go see what the damages are.
Well, we wish you well, and unfortunate accident.
Yeah, we'll come back and get them next time.
Davey Hamilton, it's tough when you're starting toward the back to get away from something like this, isn't it?
Absolutely. You know, he was all the way down the bottom of the racetrack, right against the wall. He had nowhere else to go when the car came across, caught his wheel, and this is open wheel racing. That's what happens.
Well, we've lost several cars from the original 30-car starting field. The field's starting to regroup a little bit. J.J. Yaley and Dave Steele will remain the front row. Bobby East and Tracy Hines in the 11 second row. Darland and Drake the third row. Steve Patton had a problem with the 0 car, but there he is. He's back at the back of the pack at this point. Don't know whether he'll be able to start 7th, which is where he qualified. Michael Lewis in the 76. Everyone getting set now. Davey, look at the shadows there as the cars come off turn 2. We're late in the afternoon here at Phoenix. The sun's starting to drop behind the first turn grandstands. How hard is that if you're driving down into 1?
Where you see them right there on the exit, it's not a problem. But going down the front straightaway, you have sun in your eyes, and it's like walking into a dark room. You cannot see what's going on. As soon as you get down into turn 1, very difficult to see. Once you have to refocus your eyes and just really pay attention down there this time of day.
On board with Teddy Beach, the Beach Boys Motorsports car. He lines up on the outside. Back around the 9th row out of Donaldsonville, Ohio. That is a Mopar beast. Ford and Mopar with a great battle underway between the manufacturers here in the USAC midget ranks.
As you can see, the sun, as you're going down the front straightaway, you can see the glitter coming down.
Yeah.
And then as you watch it, as we go into turn 1, it just is a dark hole, and it's just like walking into a dark room. It's very difficult to get that feel right there. Now it takes a while for it to refocus, and you have it a couple times now with the new suites and grandstands over in turn 2.
How about the car's handling? You go from, I would think, a hot racetrack to a fairly cool one.
It doesn't really affect the handling that much. It's still the outside temperature is still the same. The track temperature is down a little bit. It doesn't seem to affect the car that much as far as handling goes.
Oh, we've got some really strong runners at the front of the pack, as you would expect. We heard from J.J. Yaley, qualified at 135 miles an hour in that white number 9 out of Steve Lewis's stables. Alongside him, the number 29, Dave Steele from Tampa, Florida, won maybe the richest midget purse ever 1 year ago at Indianapolis Raceway Park when he swept both ends of the twin 25s, picked up a $50,000 bonus. Steele carted home more than $60,000 for one night's work. We've got a couple of opportunities for some of these drivers to win that kind of money later this year. One lap till green, the indication coming down to the field. Will everybody take it a little easier this time?
Well, what they'll do is hopefully take it a little bit easier, but the guys that had a bad start, or maybe it looked like Dave Steele probably is going to learn from the start that he just did to try to do something different to get the lead going down into turn 1. So some guys are going to take advantage of this and try to do something different to get ahead of the guy that they didn't beat the last time. 3
cars will not answer the call. Dane Carter in the 17, the 55 of Travis Roberts, the yellow car that flipped, and the 8 car, Bill Christie from Shelbyville, Tennessee, will not be around. This is a full restart, no laps complete. Still 25 miles of racing to come here at Phoenix International Raceway. Yaley in the white 9, Steele in the black 29 alongside. Keep your eye on Tracy Hines, a former USAC National Midget Champion, outside row number 2. Ready to go. We're glad you're with us here at Phoenix, and we are underway.
Boy, looks like Dave Steele really, he had a pickup problem that time.
Bobby East trying to get to the inside of Yaley, but it's Yaley leading as they work out of turn 2.
No surprise, and white number 9 cars up front again. They always run up front here. They do a lot of testing, and they're serious about this race, and they're looking tough at the start of this thing.
Dave Darland right there in the 91. He's moved from the 5th starting spot up to 2nd. Bobby East shuffled back to 3rd. Steele is 4th.
These guys really look at it, wheel-to-wheel racing. This is a lot of fun, this race. And watch for Dave Steele, though. I look forward to him coming up. He, like you say, he won that $60,000 there at IRP last year, and he's used to winning races in these cars.
Another driver to watch up in the mix, James Drake from Val Verde, California, one of the Stuart Coons cars, and yes, that's a car that Tony Stewart's got some investment in. A little further back, we saw Brian Gerster in the 5.
Bud Cadian on board. Yeah, but Bud's back, and he was involved in that accident, and there's that sun again, and he just taking it easy, back into the dark. Yeah, he's doing, I'm glad he's out there. He's struggled this weekend a little bit, but at least the accident didn't take him out early on.
Darland now leading. He's gotten by Yaley. Here comes East, the 3 Lewis cars. What a scramble up front.
Here comes Steele trying to take advantage, going underneath as well.
Dave Argabright, as we watch Dave Steele start to mount a challenge. Steve Lewis has got to be plenty happy with the way his 3-car team is showing.
Well, Rick, we asked before the race Dave Darland if there were any team orders among those 3 cars, and he just laughed and said 1, 2, 3, but what position we're in is up to us.
And all 3 drivers now have taken a share of the lead. Bobby East swoops to the point in the number 19. He started 3rd here today. Steele is 4th. The 76 of Mike Lewis up in 5th. And then you've got Tracy Hines in that black number 11 right in the mix.
Man, they are dicing it up right now. Steve Lewis, he just wants to win. It doesn't matter who does it. He just wants to win as a car owner. And these guys win a lot, like I say, so it's going to be interesting.
Now, we've watched Steele in the 29. He's 4th. He's tried inside and outside. He's being held up a little bit here by Yaley.
I think once he gets by these guys, he could actually pull away a little bit because he is definitely pressuring them. But it's a lot easier to, it's hard to pass. Once he gets in front of him, I think he may be able to take off. But, ooh, we see a little smoke come out of his car, though. He looks like he may be losing an engine right now.
Steele dives to the inside out of 2.
Oh, we got
trouble. One car has spun up in the 2nd corner. It's Steve Patton in the 0 out of California. He's been involved now in 2 incidents. He stopped up against the wall on the high side, and that will bring out our 2nd caution here of the afternoon at Phoenix International Raceway. And there's the reason Brian Gerster in the 5 involved in it as well.
That could have been a situation where we've seen oil coming out of Dave Steele's car.
Yeah.
They just got down in there and back into that shadow. You really couldn't see what's ahead of you, and spun out in no oil.
Take another look at what happened as they went down into one. That's Gerster in the red car. And we'll see where Padden is. Padden's already around and headed to the wall.
There's what happened. I think he may just gotten some oil or just lost it, one or the other, and then it clogged the guys up behind him.
Gerster is out of car number 5, and we understand the black flag is being shown to Dave Steele. You saw that smoke showing out of the car, Davey Hamilton.
Unfortunately, that Mopar just didn't quite hold together today. I know he was looking forward to this race, but he definitely had some fluids coming out of that thing, and more than likely he's done for the day.
Well, he's still under power, it appears, as he comes down below the apron. He is out of the racing groove, so he's not putting any moisture down on the track where it'll be a problem for anybody, and we'll see. I'm sure Dave Argerbright will head that way, and we'll try to find out if there's any fix for Dino Tomasi's Mopar machine. Steele qualified on the outside pole. Now tonight here on Speed, you're going to see this USAC Midget season opener for Phoenix. You'll also see the USAC Silver Crown Series, 100 miles coming up in just a short time. Part of the Copper World Classic here at Phoenix, and a very interesting situation because Steele and Yaley are on the front row in both of these races. Here's Tomasi's crew. They're getting busy. They're going to get the hood off that 29 car, see what they can find.
They definitely have to stream. You know, it could be, obviously he was under power, so internally in the engine nothing happened, it doesn't look like, but it could be something as simple as an oil line, fitting, braking, cracking. Yeah. Obviously, I'm pretty sure they didn't leave anything loose. That's not like these guys. They know what they're doing, but just something small like that could take you out.
Dave Argerbright.
We can see a trail of fluid from the car here. Dave Steele flipping that visor up. Dino Tomasi and the crew trying to get that hood up. It's difficult to tell what the fluid is at this point. They're frantically looking around trying to find the source of it. Having a little bit of difficulty getting the little buttons off that hold the hood in place here. This is a frantic moment for this team because this is potentially a winning car. This might be something very, very small that they can immediately repair, but they're only going to give him a lap or two before they park him.
There's a fix to this. It's just run it out of oil and it doesn't leak anymore.
Of course, the engine doesn't run either.
But unfortunately, he still won't finish. But that's bad news.
Dave Steele strapped in. He's still got the belts buckled up tight and the gloves on, but it may be a situation that he will not be able to take the restart green. 5 laps are complete. Cautions aren't counting. We'll be back at Phoenix. Welcome back to coverage of the USAC National Midgets here on Speed alongside Davey Hamilton, I'm Rick Benjamin. Dave Argerbright's on pit road, ready for a restart. 20 to go here at PIR. And the 3 Steve Lewis cars, 1, 2, and 3. Bobby East is out in front now. Dave Darlin, pole sitter J.J. Yaley, 3 wide to 1.
I guarantee you, I talked to Bob East earlier, who is Bobby's dad and the guy that builds these cars. He said he's getting old quick watching his son race. This has to make him feel better when he's out front, but it's the teammates breathing down his neck. And look at that great move there. Is that Lewis, I think?
Mike Lewis in the 76 up to 2nd spot out of Indiana. Good charge on the outside. He started back in 8th, so he's really made a move toward the front.
And he's won this race before. He knows how to win this race, and obviously they got a great setup for him.
The 91 is Dave Darlin, former USAC National Midget Champion. Yaley in the 9, running 3rd and 4th. 5th spot belongs to the 71. Jay Drake from California, back after a severe injury. Tracy Hines in the black number 11, another of the Mopar-powered machines.
Ooh, pass for the lead. Lewis goes to the lead by Bobby.
Mike Lewis in the 76 with the inside move.
Pretty serious about this. Here comes Drake. Wow, what a great right here.
3 wide again into 1. Drake on the bottom.
Who's going to give?
Yaley on the high side, trying to race his way back into 2nd, working lap 8 of 25. We're almost a 1/3 of the way home.
25-lap trophy dash
yep.
that we have here. This is usually how it runs. There's usually no yellows, and this is how you ought to see the whole race. And here comes Bobby back at Lewis.
A.J. Yaley in the white number 9, the pole sitter on the high side. Drake in the 71, pokes the nose of that Mopar to the bottom of the racetrack. Can't get it done. Lewis is still leading in the silver 76.
Drake is, that Mopars are running. I tell you what, they really have there's a lot of engines out there, and the Mopar and the Fords are really equal, it looks like. Definitely running up front, challenging.
Drake to 2nd spot in the 71. If he can get the job done, he's working on Yaley. Forces Yaley up high, slides it out of 4. Give Drake 2nd spot to Dave Argerbright. Trouble for another car. The 82 in trouble. Bad smoke showing out of that machine. That's David Goff from McChesney Park, Illinois. Riverside Associates Buick-powered Hawk, and he is on pit road with it shut off.
No yellow, so he got off track in time, no fluids on the ground, and still racing.
Working lap 10. Lewis is still your leader. Drake now is second. Let's try once again as Lewis.
Boy, look at Drake.
Goes high,
what horsepower he has at the end of the straightaway.
Jay Drake fighting side by side with Lewis for the lead. Want to hear from David Steele, who ran up front in the early going but dropped out a few moments ago. In just a moment, great battle for the lead. Dave Argabright.
Well, Dave Steele is here, and the look on his face reveals the disappointment. Dave, did you know something was going wrong?
No, I didn't know. They said over the radio for the 29 car to come down pit road and be in black flag. I didn't know what for, so it's blowing water all out of us somewhere, so I'm not sure what happened.
Oh, I know you're disappointed. You had a car that could win this thing.
Whoops, we got a...
Sure do. Trouble again. The 30 car. Johnny Rodriguez from Elk Grove, California, has spun up in two, but he's safely down off the racetrack. I do believe we're seeing a yellow flag. Caution is out here at Phoenix International Raceway. So Johnny Rodriguez unbuckles after spinning. Looks like he clipped the wall. Looks like he white-walled his left front tire.
Yeah, he definitely, he's getting out in a hurry, so he definitely must have hit something. The car looks pretty good, but he's getting out. They're not going to, he must need the tow truck.
Take another look, see what happened to Rodriguez as he goes down into one. There's the white 30 car. He got too low.
Wow, he sure did. Yeah, he just really turned in hard and
just got, oh man.
Oh, just got the wall. Yeah, didn't hit it that hard.
There was a car that just missed him on the way by.
Him too. Yeah, that's always a hang-on deal too. Yeah, definitely just pinched it off too much. You can see when he got down there so low, you seen dirt and oil dry and stuff coming off the racetrack, and just no grip down there.
And you know at Phoenix, you see it happen all the time, Davey. Going low into one is usually not the fast way around.
It's not, as you see for the lead, actually. The high line really has the momentum coming off that corner, so you kind of want to enter high and definitely have that momentum coming off the corner.
So they'll remove the 30 car from the grass down inside turn 2. Mike Lewis is our leader, 14 to go. Let's take a quick timeout. We'll be back here on Speed. Welcome back here on Speed, getting ready for a restart. 11 laps of 25 are complete around this picturesque mile, the Valley of the Sun, alongside Davey Hamilton, I'm Rick Benjamin. Dave Argabright is on pit road. Glad to be with you, bringing you coverage of the USAC National Midgets here on Speed. Michael Lewis in that silver 76 is your leader. Just grabbed the lead a moment ago, but here comes Jay Drake.
Jay keeps trying that low line, and he can't just get the stick right there. That high line coming off, he keeps losing too much momentum going down low, and Michael can hold him off. And we were just talking, you got three, you got a Fontana, a Mopar, and Ford, all in the top 3 spots. So their motor package at USAC has done a great job.
A lot of folks before the start of this one thought it would be a Ford against Mopar battle. You've got some great teams, a lot of money being spent to win that battle of the manufacturers, but Lewis with a Fontana power plant in his machine going right to the front. Here comes Drake, though, the 71.
Finally made it. He drove it in there really deep. It looks like Michael got just a little bit high and gave Jay a little bit of opportunity to move up, but here he comes back.
Lewis to the inside, and 3
Wow,
will retake the lead. Halfway this time by. Great battling up front. Unbelievable dogfight. Here comes the 11 car. Tracy Hines trying to make a move and get to the front. And Dave Argabright, Steve Lewis's car's not really in the hunt right now.
Yes, Rick, but you know, it's still a lot of race to go. The interesting thing is this race is so reminiscent of 2 years ago when Michael Lewis dueled the Lewis cars and won this race. He's in the only Fontana engine in the field, which in the offseason was given just a slight bit of a boost in terms of their displacement. Looks like he's using every bit of it right now.
Jay Drake up to second in that black and silver 71, one of Keith Kunz's cars. Tony Stewart's got an interest in that race car as well. Third belongs to Tracy Hines from Newcastle, Indiana, and car number 11. That's the black nose machine you see. Next in line, the 9, J.J. Yaley, running in front of the hometown fans this weekend here in Phoenix. And then his teammates, Bobby East in the 19, Dave Darland in the 91, Teddy Beach a little further back in the 125. The 64 car starting to show up in there. That's Aaron Pollock from Troy, Ohio. Pollock getting himself up into the top 6 late in the going here. 10 to go. Good battle a little further in the back. Is that Dan Dryden there on the 33?
Dryden, yeah, he made it back out. And He said there's only Fontana in the field, but that's this race. By the end of the season, from this result, I bet you there's more Fontanas in the race than they have today.
And diversity among the manufacturers, the engine manufacturers, and the chassis builders is really a good thing for racing. And when you've got different companies duking it out, it really upgrades the level of competition. USAC has done a great job of managing that the last several years, and it obviously in the National Midget Series, we're going to have a terrific season. Battling up front, this is Drinan in the 33. Trying to take advantage of position. Let's jump on board here with Bud Kading. In the 57, he was involved in that early skirmish coming to the green flag.
You can see in a midget, you are never going straight. You can see Bud, he's fighting that wheel, and that's just normal. That's not necessarily the car's handling that bad. The guys up front are doing the same thing, and it's just very hard to pass. There he goes on the low side. And I'm surprised the leaders, they're really kind of pulling out from the Lewis cars. Are falling back quite a ways, which you don't usually see that here.
Out in front, it's Mike Lewis in the 76. Jay Drake is second in the 71. Now Tracy Hines has gotten around the Lewis cars. He's up to third, and here comes Drake with a bid for the lead. But he's on that low lining, and you really got to get on the brakes. Oh, in trouble. Lewis goes around. Hines hits him in the 11th car. They both get in the wall. Caution on the speedway. Two of the three leaders taking it.
All three. I just seen Drake with a flat tire. He's out too. So all of a sudden, the 9 cars are back in front. The top 3 guys are look like just a small mistake, but you're on the edge, and look like Lewis just turned it around. Jay Drake is heading to the pits. He has a flat tire, and Steve Lewis is happy right now.
That'll take him perhaps out of contention. Now, caution laps are not counting, so he will not get lapped most likely, but he'll certainly lose a ton of track position. Tracy Hines being attended to. He is still in the race car. Michael Lewis is out, just pulled the balaclava off as he had taken his helmet off, taking the earplugs out, talking to one of the safety workers. Those 3 cars were really getting after it down in turns 1 and 2. And when you're lapping this place, averaging 130 miles an hour, they've got to be 150 going into turn 1.
Absolutely, things happen so fast. And these things are such short wheelbase, they're such light cars. They are really, I mean, you are on the edge, and these, it's a 25-lap sprint race, and there you can see Jay's tire. Now, hopefully, they can just put a tire on that. There is 7 laps left.
Yeah.
He will not win this race, I guarantee you, but watch him come up.
He's got a bent rim there, and I've got to think that's from some of the contact when he got together with Lewis and Hines going up into turn 2.
It wasn't a hard hit, but it was enough to bend the wheel.
So the crew going to work on the 71 of Jay Drake, but his chances of winning here at Phoenix may well be gone. We'll be right back. Welcome back on Speed. Show you what brought out the most recent caution as the 3 leaders raced into turn 1.
Jay, oh yeah, absolutely. Michael Lewis just feeling the pressure and just lost it when Jay went underneath of him, and Tracy had nowhere to go, and all 3 of them were gone.
He was too high, and he bobbled right there in the middle of the corner.
Jay's been pressuring for lap after lap and just pushing a little bit too hard.
Now, we've only raced 18 miles on these tires, but there have been a lot of caution laps. Any chance tires are starting to wear, that's becoming an issue?
For sure, and one thing you got to remember, we've had yellows that they're not used to, so some heat cycles happen in those tires, and what happens, the tire kind of gets harder as the heat. The tires stay softer when you go straight through than when the heat cycles can affect it. So that could be part of it, absolutely. And this is a new tire for them, this racetrack.
Yeah, a lot of attrition. We're down to about 14 cars remaining out of the 30-car original field. Restart leader will be J.J. Yaley. Aaron Pollock is going to restart second in that white 64. That's a Drina chassis car. They changed the tire on Jay Drake's machine, the 71, back on the racetrack. And here comes Pollock to the lead.
Absolutely, what a great run. Is that Bob? Who is that?
That is Yaley alongside him.
Absolutely, he has a little bit of momentum going down the back straightaway.
And here comes Drinan in the 33.
Wow,
he was involved in that initial wreck at the start of the race.
Absolutely, where he had no power, and there he is coming back, being tough. That's a Drinan chassis leading the race now too, obviously with a Esslinger engine. So all 4 motor engine manufacturers have been led this race.
Out in front is Aaron Pollock, coming up 5 laps to go next time by. There'll be 5 to go.
Look at Drinan. Look at Drinan going on the outside. Just drive by Bobby East.
Drinan in the white 33. Teddy Beach is back there getting into the action as well. Your leader is Pollock out of Ohio in that white 64. Oh, trouble.
Drinan.
Danny Drinan went sliding way high up into the wall in 3. A couple of cars are caught up there.
Drinan, they got a big hit there. He just got it in line. He was trying to go underneath one of the Beast cars. Looked like he got pinched off just a little bit. They're trying to protect their ground, and round he went. And unfortunately, somebody hit him pretty hard.
The 43 of Van Nil from Tucson, Arizona. That's the red car you see there, the Nil Motorsports Mopar Stewart chassis car. Dryden climbing out of his own number 33. Nil, a youngster, getting unbuckled. Safety crew there to help him. He had nowhere to go, and Dryden lost it. The 33 car just skated right up the racetrack and went to the wall.
You can see the frustration of Danny Dryden. He's seen victory. I mean, he was really coming, and I think he definitely had the fastest car on the track the way it looked. And the frustration of a small mistake, it just ruins your day. But he's okay. He just
might have the wind knocked out of him there.
Yeah, maybe that. Just more than likely just disappointed. Danny's had some bad luck the last couple years, and he's won this race before. Matter of fact, him and I battled 25 straight laps, and we came across the line, touching each other, and I ended up second backwards long start finish.
Take another look at what happened. You could see him wiggle. He turned low into 3, and when he turned in the opposite direction to the right, it pitched the car up toward the wall.
Exactly what happens. These cars, they're limited on left side weight and offset, but what happens, if the car gets to the right, it gets on that left rear tire, and it really turns the car hard, and it just kind of an overcorrection type thing. And then, boy, he really got clobbered, and he had just nowhere to go. Absolutely. He just along for the ride at that point.
Nil tried to fit between Dryden and the outside wall, might have misjudged it a little. Of course, Dryden was a moving target at that point as well. And the contact was pretty hard. That 43 car's got some significant damage too. So the safety cars are busy once again here at Phoenix. We will take a timeout and be right back for the restart in the Copper World Classic. Welcome back to Phoenix International Raceway, getting ready for a restart. The Copper World Classic here on Speed. That's Aaron Pollock in the 64. The 3 Steve Lewis cars lined up nose to tail. 6 laps to go in the 25-mile feature for the midgets. And here we go. Here comes Darland. Here comes East. Everybody scrambling into one.
You know, it's a disadvantage almost to be leading the race on a restart, because you can draft and get a little bit of a run on the leader, and it looks like it's maybe what's happened. We'll see. Oh, it's good. He stayed out front, but that is sometimes a disadvantage.
The kink on the backstretch. Pollock still leading. He's got the 3 Steve Lewis cars snarling at his tail. Ron Gregory in the 22, last year's co-rookie of the year in the USAC National Midgets, right there in 5th. Young Teddy Beach back there in 6th. Yaley taking a look to the high side. This is where those team orders might come into play. Here's the pole sitter, dirt tracking it off turn 2.
Boy, it looks like he has momentum coming off of turn 2, but he has not the preferred line going down the back straightaway. Boy, it looks like he lost maybe a couple spots.
Gregory in the 22, that's the yellow car, up to 5th spot now. Coming up to put lap 21 on the board. Pollock still leading in that Dryden chassis car, unheralded out of Ohio.
The Beast car's 3 wide.
Bobby East backed off, let his 2 teammates go through. Yaley's really using a lot of right rear tire there.
Well, you know what? It's the end of the race. There's only a few laps to go, and it's who cares now? Use what you got, because it's almost over. And if you can't do it now, you're probably not going to do it. And it looks like losing ground a little bit on the leader.
Pollock starting to move away. Now, because of the drafter, is this like what we see in Winston Cup racing, when if you're the leader, you want to see him side by side behind you racing hard?
Absolutely. He wants those 3 Beast cars to not take any team orders and race against each other as hard as they can and stay out of line and leave him alone a little bit.
Coming up, there'll be 2 to go. Here's Darland in the 91. He is second. Yaley in the 9, sliding again into 3 on the outside, trying to get second back. Those 3 have swapped that spot, that second position. I can't count how many times in the 25 miles so far.
You can definitely tell with the Steve Lewis team, and Bobby's taking care of that all the cars are definitely equal. It's not like you even see with Winston Cup, one car team may be fast with his teammate being really slow, but as you can see, he gives the guys equal cars.
White flag should be out this time by Pollock in the 64. Great story. Gregory was at the back of the pack after the second caution. He's come up to run 5th in that 22. Here we go. Final trip down into 1, and here comes Darland to the inside. That is not the preferred line, though.
But boy, it's good for Pollock. Them 2 guys racing and challenging each other. He's by himself, and I don't think they can do anything with him down 3 and 4.
Out of Troy, Ohio, the hometown of the great Jack Hewitt, Aaron Pollock's got an 8-car length lead into 3 last time around. Gregory now moves to 4th, a good run in the 22 car. And Aaron Pollock is going to score the upset victory here at Phoenix.
What a great win for him. That is fantastic. You know, seeing some new guys, new blood, and that's a S-Slinger engine as well. Yeah. So that's a good win for those guys.
So Dan Dryden's day ended against the wall in turn 3, but one of the cars he has built will go to victory lane here at Phoenix International Raceway. Aaron Pollock in a family-owned car. Pollock in that 64 started pretty deep in the field. and took advantage of some of the attrition to come to the front, make a late charge. In fact, he started outside the 7th row from 14th spot to the checkered flag.
Well, it just goes to show you, it doesn't matter where you start. You can always win this race.
Look at him punch the air with that right hand. Got the visor up now. We'll talk to him at victory lane in just a moment.
Absolutely fantastic. You know he's going to be excited. This is, like I say, this is really like the Indy 500 for midget racing. This is the biggest track. The
fastest by far.
The fastest. The Copper World Classic's always been such a big thing, and man, this is like going to the Indy 500 and winning it.
So Aaron Pollock from Troy, Ohio. Dave Argabright, we were talking a few moments ago during one of the breaks. You were saying you thought he might have one national midget win in the Midwest a couple of years ago, but he's so unheralded he doesn't appear in the USAC preseason press material.
They're going to change that quick.
Yes, they will.
He will be in there forever now.
He just got on the motorsports map in a big way, winning here on Speed Channel.
That was a great drive.
Dave Argabright.
What a wonderful, emotional moment. At what point did you know that you had a car to win this thing?
Not through the whole race. It was down to the last lap, man. Those guys were right behind me.
There was a yellow there, and Yaley was able to get past you, but the start was called back. How big a factor was that? Could you have passed him if you had to?
Yeah, actually, I was hoping that they'd leave him up there because I could get a really good draft on him, and I knew if it came down to the last lap, I could run by him going down the back straightaway. But man, this is awesome.
You won the Copper Classic. Got to be a wonderful feeling.
Doesn't get any better than this.
Aaron Pollock from Troy, Ohio scores an upset win to open the USAC National Midget season here on Speed. Darlin gets 3rd behind Yaley. Gregory comes on for 4th. He got by Bobby Eastlake, Teddy Beach, Bud Kading, A.J. Fike, Stuart Birkenbein with a surprising top 10, and Richie Jacobs rounding out our first 10. Well, Dave Argabright ready to talk to our 2nd place finisher, and J.J. Yaley seemed as excited about Pollock's win as Pollock did, Dave.
Well, I know he's disappointed. I can see it in his eyes, but he's going to smile for us. What happened to make the car go away a little bit, JJ?
The Team ASC Ford was working really good. We went to a little bit lower gear there before the race, figuring that the pace was going to slow down and the fuel load that we were going to be running was going to, bog the cars off the corner. And it just wasn't the case. The racetrack was really fast, and about halfway down the straightaway, all 3 of our cars just seemed like they run out of speed. And we had a better handling car than Pollock there, but he could definitely get down the straightaway pretty good there. So, I thought I had a shot at him going down front straightaway on a white flag lap there. And when Dave stuck underneath me, I had to hustle up and get the car loose, and I just lost my run on Pollock there. My hat's off to him. He did an excellent job. We just have to settle for 2nd.
So J.J. Yaley will head off. He'll be racing a dirt sprint car this weekend as well here in the Phoenix area. But for now, 2nd place, and he'll certainly be one of the challengers for the National Midget Championship in the United States Auto Club. Beautiful weekend for racing. Let's talk to one of the other top finishers, Dave.
Well, we've got Dave Darland here. We're going to keep him from getting ran over by a pickup truck. Are you disappointed with 3rd, Dave?
A little bit. We had a really good car right there at the end too. I tried to save my tires for most of the race, and I fell back pretty far there towards the middle part of the race, and that crash happened over there in turn 2, helped me gain some spots. But it was just kind of saving a little bit, but trying not to fall that far back. But had a good car right there at the end, and I got up to 2nd right there a couple laps ago. I thought maybe we had a chance, but me and JJ got the race in there the last couple laps pretty hard, and that cost us, either one of us, a chance of winning the race, I think.
Another look at our top 10. Aaron Pollock, the surprise winner here at Phoenix. Let's take a timeout. We'll be back with coverage of the USAC Silver Crown Series on Speed. Welcome back to Phoenix here on Speed. Coverage of the USAC National Midgets and the USAC Silver Crown Series. Opening up our coverage here in 2003. I'm Rick Benjamin. Welcome back to Phoenix. Joined in the booth by USAC President Raleigh Helming. Now, you may recognize Raleigh. You may recognize the name. He helped propel Jeff Gordon to prominence not that many years ago in USAC.
No, it was indeed a pleasure to be able to be Jeff Gordon's car owner, and USAC is really thrilled to see where all of our graduates have gone.
But there's a great new crop of youngsters coming along, and I just want to tell you how thrilled we are to be bringing USAC to Speed Channel this year.
Well, USAC is America's premier short track open wheel series, and we're thrilled that this to be the first of 21 dates now because we lost Ventura last week, but it's going to be great, and where better to start out than Phoenix International Raceway.
Always a great place to come to watch and to race, and the midget race we just saw was wonderful.
Well, it was a phenomenal race, and that showcased a lot of the young talent that hopefully will be going on to great things in auto racing in the very near future. And with our Silver Crown race that's coming up, we're looking forward to some really great events, and it's obviously going to be a great season of USAC Racing on speed.
Well, we think of all the young drivers, J.J. Yaley. We just saw Aaron Pollock win in the midget here. What is it about USAC open wheel cars that creates such fine racers?
Well, there's a true spirit of competitiveness in USAC Racing. Our teams are second to none, the preparation and the effort, and a lot of them have discovered that it truly is a springboard to greatness in auto racing.
Well, we see some great competitors here at Phoenix. Raleigh Helming, congratulations on another start of a wonderful season. We're so glad to have you to be part of the Speed Channel family. We'll be back with our coverage of the USAC Silver Crown season opener right after this on Speed. Welcome back to Phoenix International Raceway. Coverage of the USAC open wheel cars on Speed Channel. Alongside Davey Hamilton, I'm Rick Benjamin. We've just witnessed a very exciting USAC National Midget Series season opener. Next up in just a couple of moments, the USAC Weld Racing Silver Crown Series opens its 2003 season with 100 miles of action, part of the Copper World Classic here at Phoenix. On the pole, a very familiar name in this series. The guy's had a lot of success here, Dave Argabright.
Well, he had a bitter disappointment in the midget race. Dave, what's the plan here for this Silver Crown race?
We're just going to try to run as hard as we can from the green flag and as hard as we can, but still keep the car underneath us. So these guys in these first 3 rows behind me, they're going to be tough. So we'll see what we got.
Well, he's awfully good here at Phoenix, guys, and he's ready to win another one.
He is the defending race winner in the Bob Grattan Racing number 19, that black Silver Crown car on the pole. The Northside propane Gertie-powered beast. And Davey Hamilton, he's certainly one of the guys we'll want to watch here. Meantime, Dave Argabright's caught up with another great story on the grid.
Well, Jason McCord was for many years a great sprint car racer, but he's found in recent years the cars he really likes are these Silver Crown cars.
I love it. I mean, that's by far my favorite race cars. It's, you know, sprint car races are a blast. You know, they're 30 laps. You know, it's, the Silver Crown races are events. You know, they're 2 or 3 days at these big, nice venues, but there's just so much prestige to them and history, and they're just so much fun to drive. The races are longer. You know, we drive a lot of hours to race for 7 minutes, but with the Silver Crown cars, you know, you get to race for 100 miles, so it makes it a lot more fun. You know, to me, I like the endurance races anyways, but there's just something special about the Silver Crown series.
At last year's Copper Classic, Jason qualified poorly in 18th spot, but he put on a heck of a show.
When we started the race, we knew we were going to have to, you know, work pretty hard to get to the front. We were going into turn 3, and I was trying to go around the outside of somebody and poked in their nose in there. It kind of spooked me, and my car got way up the racetrack. And a lot higher line than anybody had been running it, and the thing stuck. And I started running that line, and we was able to kind of march to the front. I knew coming down towards the end of the race that we had a chance to win the thing. When I passed PJ for second, I think it was like 9 laps to go or so, I gauged where Dave was and where I was. Every lap I could tell I was getting a little closer. That lasted for about 2.5, 3 laps, and then the motor started letting go. And I almost pulled in, but you know, we ended up limping home second. But you know, I wish it wouldn't happen, because I really would have liked to see how it could have played out, because I think I could have caught Dave with maybe a lap or 2 to go and made a pretty good finish. At least made him work for it.
About 2 years ago, Jason and wife Meredith got the news that they were going to have a baby, or 2, or 3. Jason remembers the day they found out through an ultrasound test.
At first, the doctor thought it was twins, and I kind of caught my breath. Thought, okay, you know, that's cool. You know, that's pretty neat. And then she saw like a glitch on the screen, and she said, "Uh-oh, what's uh-oh?" And she said, "There's 3." And I about passed out. You know? I told her, I said, "Turn that thing off before you find more." And later at night, I had to actually drive to Chicago to do an interview on television up there. And I dropped my wife off Meredith at home, and she looked at me, she said, "You're never coming back, are you?" So yeah, I'll be back. I told her by after that, we need to run top 3 every night for me to support these kids. But you know, it was a neat experience, but I knew it was going to be a long road to hoe.
And what advice would Jason give others expecting triplets?
Hang on, it's going to be a wild ride.
Well, Well, it was a wild ride last year from 18th to 2nd. Today, Jason McCord didn't do a much better job qualifying. He starts 19th, so we'll watch that for Conto's car to see if he can once again move to the front.
Jason McCord certainly will have his work cut out for him. Cars are on the racetrack. When we come back, we'll set the starting lineup for today's USAC Well Racing Silver Crown season opener. You're watching USAC on Speed. Welcome back on Speed to Phoenix International Raceway alongside Davey Hamilton. I'm Rick Benjamin. Dave Argabright on pit road for us. Second half of our Copper World Classic doubleheader season opening coverage of USAC here on Speed. Our starting lineup, pole sitter Dave Steele, defending race champion, lapped this place at 138.6 miles an hour in the 19. J.J. Yaley out of Phoenix in car number 9. Second row, veteran Tracy Hines in the 37. Jay Drake in car number 11. That's one of the Stuart Snyder cars. Third row, Brian Tyler in car number 21, the Team 6R machine. And Paul White, 2001 Silver Crown champion. E.J. Jones, Parnelli's son, in the 4th row, the other George Snyder car. Dave Darland in the 92, former Silver Crown champion. He'll line up in 8th spot. 5th row, Dave Goff in the 82, and Bobby East, Bob's son, in one of Johnny Vance's cars, the Aristocrat number 3. 6th row, Ron Gregory, youngster who was the Midget Rookie of the Year, car number 48, and John Starks in the 98. He's from Colorado. In the 7th row, Ed Carpenter in car number 39. The Hoffmans taking that car over after Carpenter had problems in qualifying. Row 8, Bud Kading in the Deuce, the other Johnny Vance car. A.J. Fike in the 67, that's the Zarunian car. The 9th row, Donnie Schatz, World of Outlaws standout in the Parker Stores 115. Michael Lewis, who nearly won the midget race, in car number 85. The 10th row, Jason McCord, we met him earlier. Jed Phillip from Ozona, Texas, in his own number 77. Row number 11 here today, Bentley Warren, the great veteran, racing out of Kennebunkport, Maine these days, and Danny Everts in the 44. He's from California. Jimmy Kite from Stockbridge, Georgia. Russ Gamester from Indianapolis in car number 51. And the 13th row looks like this. Tyler Walker back in car number 35. And Eric Bootsy in the 09. Keep your eye on Tyler. He won the last chance race. The 14th row, Pancho's son Dane Carter in car number 7. Young Aaron Pierce in car number 26. The 15th row, Matt Westfall, one of the BWB cars, and Toby Tobias Jr. out of Pennsylvania in the 17. Tice Carlson makes it on a promoter's option. 100 miles to go. Davey Hamilton, here we go.
Here we go. What a great start for J.J. Yaley already, getting ahead of Steele. This is 100 laps, so the first lap, it counts, but doesn't mean everything.
Tracy Hines, Jay Drake right behind. Drake in that 11 car with a white nose. Dave Darland is right in there as well in the 92. Yaley in that white and red 9, off to a good start, riding with P.J. Jones in the 111, one of the George Snyder machines.
Oh, he's on the wheel. You can see that right front tire and camera where he's turning back and forth, just getting tires up to temperature, and just feeling everybody out right now, not making any crazy moves, but getting that car felt out and see what he can do.
Dave Steele is second, the pole sitter in that black number 19. Yaley from the outside of row 1 is the early leader as they arrow back into the dogleg and down the backstretch here in Phoenix.
Those 3 guys right up front are going to be tough, and hopefully everybody keep them in sight. I know some of the guys like Jason McCord, who we just talked about, who has a fast race car. He told me this morning that he felt like he could definitely come up and have a shot at winning, but he needs some help. He needs some yellow flags like the midget race had.
Steele takes a look at the bottom going into turn 1. Davey, we talked about during the midget race how that low line into 1 is not the quick way around. How about in the Silver Crown car? Does it help you to be at the bottom?
It's actually worse. These cars are heavier, so there's more weight. So it wants to slide up the racetrack even more, and you lose too much momentum. So even though Steele can get underneath of him, he does not have that momentum coming off the corner.
Leaders working out of the front straightaway. Here's Steele and Yaley. They are wheel to wheel into 1. Dave Argabright.
Well, these cars carry 500 pounds of fuel, basically, at the start of this race. Changes the handle.
Oh, trouble. Big wreck. The 3 car, Bobby East, hard into the wall. Bobby East up in turn 1, had it get away from him. He whacked the wall a ton. Bob's son out of Indianapolis, one of the Johnny Vance cars. He's knocked the left front, the whole front end out from under that car.
Yeah, the complete axle flew out of that thing. You don't see that very often. Usually just the tire break off or break the axle, but that was definitely, it's like to see the replay if we have it, but that was a big hit.
He's moving around in the car. Safety crew there right on the spot here at Phoenix International Raceway to help him. Bobby East unbuckling out of the car. That's the best thing you could see.
That's the best thing. I know I talked to Bob East, as we said in the midget race. He says he's getting old quick watching his son race, so that doesn't help when things like this happen.
Dave Argabright.
Well, Bobby East is making his first visit here to PIR. He did pretty well in the midget race yesterday, but this is part of the learning curve of jumping from the smaller midget car to the bigger Silver Crown that a young driver sometimes struggles with.
we said, they got a huge fuel load, 50 gallons of fuel in the back of these things minimum to make the 100 laps. So you can see it definitely hit hard. He's having a little think over there in the corner, getting the cobwebs knocked out, as we call it.
Let's take another look at what we can show you of the Bobby East incident. After he's already hit the wall, he skates down the concrete for quite some distance.
You know, it looks like he hit very early in the corner, and usually when something like that happens, you know, he could have lost his brakes or had a throttle stick when you hit that early in the corner. Hard to say, but it looks like maybe he had a mechanical issue caused that accident.
Bobby East with the helmet off, talking to the safety crew. He'll make the mandatory trip to the infield care center here at Phoenix, but he looks to be just fine, and that is great news. These are stout 1,500-pound race cars. That one was certainly tested. We'll be back at Phoenix. Coming up next here on Speed for USAC, the USAC National Sprint Car Series from Eldora. You'll see that April 10th. 9 o'clock Eastern time. Hope you can join us for all the coverage. Dave Steele is your restart leader. They've cleaned up Bobby East's wreck up in turn 1. Lap 12 going up on the board, and it's Steele. J.J. Yaley, the 37 of Tracy Hines, your top 3. Here comes Dave Darland on the outside up to 5th.
And they're going at it still. This is it's a 100-lap race, but you wouldn't know it this early in the race. These guys are going after it. One thing these cars do, as the fuel load goes down, the car should get faster, but then you got a lot of tire wear, so we'll just have to see what happens at the end.
Starting to open up the advantage just a little bit. 3 car lengths ahead of Yaley. Here comes Hines, taking a look to the inside for second. Couldn't get the job done. 4th belongs to Jay Drake in car number 11. Darland is 5th. Paul White, the 2001 Silver Crown champion out of Texas, in 6th position. Boy, his dad, Bill White, was a legend around the Waco, Texas area many years ago.
Last year, his highlight of last year was flipping down the front straightaway, so he's definitely wanting a better day today. But you know, one thing about these cars is the guys back in the field that are maybe being slowed up by some of the guys, they're actually saving their tires a little bit, saving the fuel, saving tires, and their car could be better at the end, so it could be an advantage to actually be in traffic at this point in the race. Boy, Hines 1 second, doesn't he?
Haley under some pressure in that 9 car. Now that is one of Bob East's machines. We talked about it during the midget battle here at Phoenix. 3-car team for Steve Lewis's boys, and this is Lewis's Silver Crown car that Yaley's wheeling down to turn 2. Heading toward the dog leg. Oh, in trouble. A couple of cars get together. Jimmy Kite in the 5, one of those machines. So we've got impact again over in turn 2.
Looks like Tobias was involved as well.
Eric Bootsy in the 09, and he is moving around inside the car. And Jimmy Kite looks as though he may have just slid through, although I think the front end may be a little misaligned on that car. We'll try to get a look.
Yeah, I think he lucked out there. It actually doesn't look like too much damage on any of them from this angle.
Bootsy's left rear may be knocked a little askew. He has stopped. Looked as though he got into the wall. And there is something leaking out of the 09. So some oil dry goes down on the track there.
You can see the right rear tire kind of sticking up in there. It looks like maybe an axle is broken in that car. And, maybe broke through. And oh yeah, he definitely hit the wall
hard. Yeah, and Kite did make contact with the 3rd car involved with Toby Tobias there, I believe.
Yeah, sure does. I think they're all going to be wounded. They hit hard enough. You don't hit easy when you're going these kind of speeds. It never seems like. So.
And a 1,500-pound race car by open wheel standards. That's a stout car, strong frames on these cars, but at these speeds you do bend them up.
You do bend them up, and one thing that you do with these cars is that everything that's a rotating mass, which is the axles, the wheels, everything that turns, you want those as light as possible, and that's the first thing that hits. So usually, as you can see, the left rear on that car, it's folded up, and they need to buy a new rear end before the next race. That's for sure. Looks like he's okay.
Yeah, gingerly kind of climbs out of the cockpit with the helmet off. And Toby Tobias with a cut down right rear tire among possible other damage. They will go to work on that dynamic resource machine.
I'd have to think Jimmy Kite, as hard as they hit, that he probably has something bent up. Like you say, the front end could have been out of line. And
it just didn't look like the geometry was correct there when it went down. Although the car seemed to be tracking straight. But I would expect to see Kite on pit road as well, the 5-car. Driver who had some success several years ago in the Indy Racing League. And really, this is the track that kind of made his reputation. He had a great run in a Silver Crown event here several years ago, and that got him the attention in the IRL that he needed, and was kind of the springboard. Had some success. He's raced at the Indy 500 several times, but there is some damage to the 5-car.
Yeah, looks like, you know, you're more likely he has something, that right front tire maybe towed out a little bit. He definitely hit the front end, but we'll see. It looks like he's going to stay out and gamble it a little bit.
Some scuffs on the bodywork there on the front of the Westcon machine, but For now, Kite will remain on the racetrack.
No, he's coming in.
Yeah, he dives below
he's
the yellow line.
Yeah.
So Dave Argabright will head that way, I'm sure, as well, and we'll get an update on Jimmy Kite's situation from pit road in just a moment. 17 laps are complete. Second caution of the afternoon here at Phoenix International Raceway. The season opener for the Weld Racing Silver Crown Series at the United States Auto Club. Alongside Davey Hamilton, I'm Rick Benjamin. Dave Argabright on pit road all season long, and we're glad to have you with us tonight here on Speed. Kite has stopped his car. USAC officials taking a look. There's Bootsy's 09 going out on the hook. They will need to do some repair work to the rear end of that car. And Toby Tobias's car stopped on pit road. We have an onboard view in this race from Tyler Walker's number 35, the Kerbag-Ajanian Keeley machine. Tyler, a driver who's had a fling in NASCAR and has come home to USAC and the World of Outlaws as well. Tyler back in 21st after winning the Last Chance race a day earlier.
He hasn't had the best weekend. He lost a clutch this morning in the final warm-up, and they changed it, and he's back out there. But it's always nice when you don't have to work on the car. And you can just work on the chassis and make him go fast. And unfortunately, he's had some problems.
Getting ready for a restart. This will be lap number 20. Here comes Yaley in that white number 9. Going for the lead in one, and he gets the drop on Steele.
What a great restart. He's been tough on the restarts, even earlier in the midget. He always seems to do good on the restarts. And watch out for Steele. It doesn't take him long to fire back.
Steele now is second. Tracy Hines and Jay Drake next in line. Puff of smoke deeper in the field. Dave Darland up to 5th in that black 92.
Got them 2 Mopar cars running in 3rd and 4th. They're running strong.
Ryan Tyler back there at 7th. That's the yellow car, the 21 from the 6R machines. Darland in 5th. Paul White is 6th in the 10, then Tyler.
You know, Mopar is actually, speaking of Mopar, they're running so well. They've only came into the series a couple years ago, and actually the 11 car of Jay Drake is co-owned George Snyder's team, and Tony Stewart's got involved with him, and so there's a kind of a double effort there. A lot of wins in that camp this weekend.
Steele makes a move going down into 1, but he's on the inside, not where you want to be. Yaley holding on to the top spot.
You can see how these cars are a little bit like the midgets, where you're fighting them the whole time. You're always turning that steering wheel. It's not like the race coming up with the Indy cars that you just barely turn the wheel and it goes to the corner. You're sawing the wheel back and forth right on the edge. And these cars are heavier, even though they're not heavy. To standards of race cars, they're a lot heavier than the midget race that just happened earlier.
Now these cars run V8s, stock block motors, 750 horsepower, about the same as a Winston Cup car, although they are on fuel injection. Davey, are these cars, can you light the tires in these cars anywhere? Do you need to drive them gently, or do you just flat-foot it around?
Very gently. One thing about a Silver Crown car, as you can see, they have very little offset, so most of the weight is in the center of the car, number 1. There is no downforce virtually at all. There's no wings on top. There's no full body work. So they really sit on top of the racetrack, and they get very little shock travel in these cars. They're pretty rigid, so you can light the tires very easy, and that's one thing where the smooth driver comes into play, so you're not buzzing the tires. But we got one in the wall down in turn 1.
Trouble in 1. Caution will be out. Steele was making a move on Yaley down the backstretch. That's the other Johnny Vance car. That's Bud Kading into the wall in almost the same spot.
Wow, isn't that something? 2 Vance cars in the same area.
The Aristocrat Deuce. Kading whacks the wall hard up in turn 1. The son of the legendary Brent Kading from the West Coast. But a terrific young driver.
Absolutely. He's doing some testing, trying to get in the Infinity Pro Series and trying to weigh his options out. It looks like there's a lot of, I don't know if it happened in the accident, but I see a lot of smoke and things. Maybe, hopefully we got a little look at it too, but something may have happened before the hit. The
car's badly bent, and we're hearing that something might have broken in the race car. He took a hard trip into the wall, no doubt about it. Kading getting out slowly. He suffered a pretty serious injury a couple of seasons ago that set him back, and had some success in the Indy Lights Series not very long ago.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely hurting there a little bit. Whether it's the air knocked out of him or he's just something.
Take another look at it as the car scrubs off speed against the concrete. Very similar to what we saw Bobby East go through.
You know, it really is something. I think that, you know, they may have something too light on the, you know, you never know. We'll have to talk to him afterwards. But in both situations, it looked to me like something broke early in the corner, because you usually enter the corner, then have a problem before the accident. But they were really early in the corner before and hitting the wall.
So a lot of fluid down on the racetrack. 25 laps complete of 100 here at Phoenix International Raceway. Coverage of the Weld Racing Silver Crown Series of USAC, the season opener in 2003. We'll be back. Welcome back on Speed. Coming up for the United States Auto Club March 30th, the Western Midgets at Stockton 99. The National Sprint Cars, April 5th at Eldora. You'll see that here on Speed. The Sprint Cars move to Anderson, a quarter-mile paved oval in Indiana on the 6th. Midgets at Madera in California, April 18th. And then on the 26th, we'll be back on the air from Irwindale Speedway, the National and the West Coast Midgets. Twin 25s, that $50,000 bonus is up for grabs if you can come from the back and win both features. I want to welcome to the broadcast booth Brian Gerster, Midget Series standout. Brian, great to have you with us. You were in action earlier in the Midget feature. Your day didn't go as well as you'd planned. These cars, as we see a great battle up front, very entertaining to watch, these Silver Crown machines.
Yeah, you would think with a 100-mile race, these guys would take it a little bit easy, but it looks like they're as frantic as what we were for 25 miles. So we'll just have to see. You might want to watch some of those guys mid-pack right now that are sort of taking it easy. These hot dogs up front, they wear out their machinery, and we'll have somebody come from mid-pack win this thing. You never know.
David Steele just snuck around J.J. Ailey coming off the restart to take the lead. And Davey Hamilton, once he gets to the front, he's able to open up a couple of car lanes.
You know, he's got the fastest car, and he's had it for the last couple of years. He set a new track record here last year. He was on the pole this year. He won the race last year. He really has a good setup for this racetrack, and you know, he may be out there cruising. We don't even know that yet. I mean, he may be taking it easy on his tires. Brian says some of the guys in the back can't go because they're in traffic, but sometimes you're up front, and the car's driving easier than it looks.
Great battle for third. Tracy Hines in the 37. Jay Drake in the 11. Dave Darland is there too. Darland on the outside now going for fourth.
Two good lines going through turn 1 and 2. That's one thing about these cars. It's a mile track and there's a lot of room, and they can run 2-3 wide sometimes in the corners.
Ed Carpenter in the 39 car on the move as well. Now that's a car that he just got into today. Had problems in the Hoffman 69 and practice and qualifying. They borrowed this car from the Fike family, and he is on the move, headed to the front.
Yeah, unfortunately in practice, he had a good car, and there was an accident in practice, and he got hit from behind, and into the wall he went. So had to do a car change.
I talked to Richard Hoffman this morning, and he said he went over to Don Fike, and they had that spare car sitting there, asked if they could just borrow the fuel cell off of it. That was the main thing they needed. Don, they race with them all the time. Don said, heck, it's sitting right there. It'd be a lot less work if you just take it, put your stickers on it, and see if you can go race it. So, you know, Don Fike, the Hoffmans working together there, that's a little bit of something you won't see in other professional sports.
Ed Carpenter really coming on strong. Season opener for the USAC Silver Crown cars. He is on the move. 13th to 5th. Make it 4th. He is closing in on Yaley.
What a great run for him. We know he had a tough time in the Infinity Pro Series. He got into the wall, and he had a tough time practicing, but he's got this car figured out, and it's running great.
Is it a matter of seat time for a young driver like that? He just needs more experience?
Absolutely. You know, I mean, first of all, you need to be with a good team, and he has done that now. He's with good equipment, good team. And Ed, he's a talented race driver. Now he needs to go to these racetracks, get more laps in, and get used to each track, each car. And he's trying to be versatile and drive straight cars, midgets, Silver Crown, Infinity Pro. And he wants to have a career in motorsports and auto racing as a driver. We know that he has a career in motorsports one way or another, but he wants to be able to do it as a driver, and he's working as hard as he can to keep behind the wheel.
This is for second spot. Yaley in the 9 has it, but here comes Hines on the inside of the 37. Out of 2, Tracy Hines grabs second.
The one thing we don't want to forget about Ed, Davey's talking about having good equipment. AJ Fike ran this car last year, finished 3rd in this very car. It was here as a spare, so it is a good piece of equipment.
Carpenter moving by Yaley as well. So he now is 3rd. What a drive from 13th spot for young Ed Carpenter.
And absolutely, you just hope that the car looks so stable. I mean, I don't think he's hard on the tire, Brian. As you know, the straighter you keep him, the better off you are, and it looks like he's not fighting the car very much.
David Steele continues to lead in the 19. Hines is up to second in the 37. I was going to ask you, we got to look a few laps back, and Steele coming off the corner, especially in 2, looked as though he was using the right rear a lot, sliding the car. Pretty early to be doing that.
Yeah, it sure is. It's way early. We're only 41 laps into this, and it's a little bit too early, but the conditions change, the fuel load goes down. We'll see what happens, but I like keeping my car straight when it's a 100-lap race.
It's amazing, though. Dave Steele, one of the best guys on pavement, especially here with USAC. And I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter if the race was 1,000 laps long. He would look like that at the beginning of it. He is always on the hammer, and there's times when you think he's about to wear the thing out 10 laps into it, but he's still fast when it's over.
Opens up a good lead again down into 1. He seems to be able to carry more speed into 1 than just about everybody else. There he is, a little bit sideways again off of 2.
He definitely works. Brian's right. He will drive the wheels off any race car. He won that big jackpot in the midget, the Twin 25s, and he loves winning races.
Jimmy Kite in car number 5 back in after going to pit road. He was part of that 3-car tangle up in turn 2. Kite in the Westcon number 5 he's not a lap down. He's up to 12th after restarting at the back. So Jimmy Kite's really got the bit in his teeth here.
Yeah, obviously his car, the damage is nothing happened. They checked it out. He went right back out. And he's ready to go race and coming forward.
PJ Jones in the 111 right behind him in 13th. Jason McCord there in the Contos number 4 in 14th. Let's climb on board with PJ as he works down into 3.
You know, PJ, he's expecting a lot better day than he's showing right now, but the car's been good all weekend, and you can see that he's fighting that wheel. Looks like he has some understeer. He's not turning to the right very much. Mostly all to the left, just trying to get it to turn, but probably disappointing run. Ultra Wheels is a sponsor for him. This team came together actually on the day before practice. Wow. Jimmy Smith with Ultra Wheels helped George Snyder out and plug PJ in. This is only his 2nd Copper World Classic, so he's kind of a rookie in these cars, this track.
Well, the thing about it, last year was his first year, and he was actually a fill-in last year when Michael Lewis got hurt in practice, got backed into the wall. He wasn't medically cleared. They threw him in the 6R car. He had a really good run, stayed up in the top 5 all day.
Great battling back behind PJ. This is back around 12th, back to say 18th or 19th, but you've got 7 guys. Tyler Walker in the back of that group, just snarling at each other here for Racing Room.
Yeah, this is a great race. This is what USAC Racing is all about. Now they're behaving. Hopefully this goes straight through. They're giving each other room. They got a good feel. Their car tires took trip. You can see right behind PJ, they're dicing all over the place, trying to find the way around him. He seems to be holding him up just a little bit.
AJ Fike back there in the 57.
And you can see the big push. As PJ came off the corner, you can see that tire really turn. That means he just can't get the car to turn. It means too tight. Just it won't turn when he goes into the corner.
Chet Phillip is back there in the 77 out of Ozona, Texas, the black car. On board with PJ down into the corner. Up in front, meantime, this is Yaley in the 9 trying to hold back Dave Darland as they fight it out for 4th spot. Coming up on halfway, we're 3 laps short of halfway here at Phoenix.
Darland's looking good, trying to get that draft.
How much draft is there in these cars? We talked about it in the midgets, and you can really see it. Do you draft in a Silver Crown car here?
Absolutely, you do draft. You don't feel it as much as a midget probably because they're a little heavier, they're a little bigger, and they have more speed down the straightaway. They have more power, so you kind of blow them through the air a little bit easier than the midget car with the low power.
Yeah, there's not that much difference in the frontal area, and you've got a lot less horsepower pushing that midget. So the draft, I've never noticed the draft being quite as critical in the Silver Crown car, but it's huge in the midget.
Alien car number 9 started on the outside of row 1. He has fallen back to 4th. Darland in the 92, sitting 5th. Good run for the veteran and the champion. And right behind them is Jay Drake in the 11. Now Drake started 4th. He was up in that battle for the lead earlier. He's fallen off the pace a little, back to 6th. Paul White back in 7th. There's Drake, one of the Mopars.
Looks like Tyson Carlson maybe slowing down the back straightaway. Hopefully he can get off the track, going into turn 3 over there.
Tyson, one of the BWB cars, the 52, tagged the field as a promoter's option after missing the show. Looks like he's got a tire down.
Absolutely. Left her tires flat, and he's just trying to cripple around and get a new tire on, try to get back out.
Tyson's up to 23rd after starting 31st. Darland takes a look inside, coming off the dog leg down into 3. You know, a mile track is a big track by open wheel standards, although Silver Crown cars are made to run on the miles. This doesn't seem like it's a very easy place to pass, though.
This is the most unique racetrack on the entire series, and I'm not so sure it's not the most unique racetrack in the country. The design of this track is so fun and so different than any other racetrack that it is a mile. You're going very, very fast, but you really have to work on passing guys here. But it's a fun pass. There's so many different areas to do it. It's just hard to take advantage of those areas.
You think of this as being an oval with 4 corners, as we always refer to it, but when you're here and you watch the backstretch action, you realize there's really a 5th corner back there.
There's absolutely, and that's a pretty good kink. And these cars with no downforce, you can get them sideways going down through the back, as they call it, the back straightaway, but you can actually get the car sideways through that dog leg, and it's just a great racetrack, and it's always been fun, and these cars really fit here perfect.
Watching the battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Meantime, Darland makes a move inside Yaley to take a spot away for 4th. As they come to the front stretch,
He's been working on that hard. He kind of gave JJ a wave there as he went by, but he's been working on that a long time, and finally kind of did a slide job, got in front of him.
Dave Darland, the USAC Triple Crown champion. He's won a title in the midgets, in the sprint cars, and in the Silver Crown cars. From 8th to 4th here this afternoon. We passed halfway. 53 of 100 miles complete today at Phoenix.
You got to feel really good for Dave. He had a good run yesterday in the midget. JJ was his teammate there. Dave's kind of in a little bit of an odd situation right now. He's so good on dirt. He almost gets labeled as a dirt driver. He's proven he's passing some pretty high-dollar rides right there and doing a good job on the pavement. So hopefully that'll materialize for some more pavement racing for him.
Watching the battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Meantime, this is young Ron Gregory in the 48 car, the midget rookie of the year last year, and the great veteran Brad Knopfsinger in his own number 14 right behind him. Coming up to join the fun, Mike Lewis in the 85, who nearly won the midget main earlier.
You know, I talked to Brad Knopfsinger earlier, and I go, who built that race car you had there? And he said, I did it myself. It's kind of his own creation. This was the first race for it. He had no idea if it was going to go straight, if it was going to turn, if it was going to be slow or fast. But, man, he's doing a great job. You see he's working it. But this is good for him because he's being competitive. He's running a good pace. And this is the first time on that car, first race on that car, and nobody else out there is like this one.
Lapping by Tice Carlson, who's back on the racetrack after getting a new left rear tire. Dave Argerbright watching Dave Darland go to work in the 92. Pretty darn impressive.
Well, Rick, it is an important weekend for Dave because going into this season, he didn't have a whole lot lined up as far as pavement rides. He did very well yesterday in that midget race, as Brian touched on earlier. He hopes to have a ride lined up in a Terry Klatt Phil Durst midget at the Twin 25s in Irwindale, and he was very tickled with that Bob Horner number 92 yesterday after qualifying and said he very much hoped that they could put something together to run further into the season. He's certainly got a good run going today.
That's Darland in the 92, ahead of Yaley in the white number 9. The 11 car, Jay Drake out of Valverde, California. Running 4th, 5th, and 6th. Out in front, it continues to be Dave Steele. He has put that car, the 19, into the win. Watching this battle out from under the Goodyear Bridge here in Phoenix, up onto the front straightaway. Dane Carter on pit road in the 7 with a problem evidently. You don't want to stop. If you come to pit road, you've got some sort of problem, and they're going to go under the hood of the Carter racing machine. On board with P.J. Jones in the 111 car. Back to 18th spot. We'll take a quick timeout in Phoenix. We'll be back. Coming up on 40 miles to go today at Phoenix. Coverage of the USAC Weld Racing Silver Crown Series here on Speed. I'm Rick Benjamin. Davey Hamilton is alongside. Dave Argerbright on pit road. Brian Gerster joining us here in the booth for a few moments as well. Steele is your leader in the 19. Hines in the 37 is second. Young Ed Carpenter with a great run in a borrowed car up to third. Darland and Yaley round out the top 5. These are the first 3 up onto the front straightaway here at Phoenix. Steele started from the pole. Yaley got by him at the initial green. Took Steele a couple of tries before he finally recaptured the lead. His car seems to work a lot better in clean air, all alone out front, Davey Hamilton.
Man, he's really pulling the lead. Those 3 guys actually have a huge lead. They're competing with themselves. There's the 4th place is way back, and you know that can be said earlier. Dave's car always wiggles around. It looks like that he's on the edge, but you know somehow he has that capability of moving that car around without tearing the tires up.
And that will be a big question mark, I'm sure, as we get down to the last 20 laps or so here today at Phoenix. Let's ride with P.J. Jones. P.J. in this George Snyder 111. We talked about him earlier. He qualified 7th, a great run, a last-minute deal that was put together. He's back, slid all the way to 18th, Davey.
He's having a tough time. As you can see, you can watch the tire on the right front. When he goes into the corner, you can really see a lot of input in the car turning. He tries to get the left front down below the yellow line right there to help load that right front to make it turn. So he's definitely battling a car that just won't turn in the corners. And down in 3 and 4 especially, you can see where he really tries to get that thing down below the line.
And you might think with the fuel load on the back of these cars, as it lightened up, it'd get better and it'd quit pushing. But actually, the right front tire is so small in comparison to the right rear. Once you overheat it and abuse it with the heavy fuel load and the car's too tight, you're never going to get it back, even when you get the fuel burn off.
Top 3 starting to bunch up once again. Steele, your leader in the black 19. Hines in the white and black 37. And Carpenter to the outside of the 39. He wants 2nd spot here.
You know, this is a perfect time for Ed because those 2 guys battling. Edge is back there stalking them, going which way they're not, and then he has no risk. You know, he goes the way where they're not and gives it a shot. Look at there, goes right into 2nd by Hines. What a great pass right there.
Yeah, he is strong right now, and he's shown a lot of patience. You haven't noticed his car sliding around any. And if this thing stays green for a while, they are going to get into some of the back markers. maybe Ed can sit on
Steele
Dave for a
Steele
while.
have a problem here? It looked like Steele slowed down in the middle of the corner.
Well, I tell you what, I do think that he is getting looser and looser. The car just slid up the racetrack. He caught it, but he lost so much ground, and I just think that he is on the loose side, and Ed Carpenter's car still looks very stable and straight. So as you can see, Dave gets sideways there again, I think, with 65 laps in out of 100. So I don't know if Dave has what it takes to hang on to win this thing.
Ed Carpenter qualified 13th, and he is up to second, and he appears to be tracking down the leader as they close in on Donnie Schatz to put him a lap down. Meantime, let's get an update from pit road. Dave Argabright.
Well, Rick, we learned that Bud Kading is being transported to an area hospital, but it is nothing serious. A member of his crew told us that he suffered a minor laceration to his knee, and he's going to go into medical attention for that, and they expect him to be released right away.
Good news, too. We talked to one of the USAC officials before the start today, and Dan Drinan, who was shaken up in that midget event earlier this weekend. He was taken to a local hospital after the midget race was over. They were just going to check him. And he survived one of the wildest wrecks that anyone can remember in a midget several years ago on a dirt track in the Midwest. He had some fractures in his upper spine, if I recall correctly, years ago, and they were checking to make sure that he was still okay from that. He was banged up in a few places, but nothing serious, we're glad to report. Meantime, a little further back, we check out that battle for 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, all the way back to 12th spot. McCord in the 4 car, Knopfsinger in the 14. Brian Tyler's back there. Everybody's scrambling. Here comes Gregory in the 48. Gregory is 9th. Mike Lewis in the 85 car is 8th, and here comes McCord.
He's trying that high line that he talked about earlier, that he went up there and all of a sudden his car stuck. He's still trying that high line, trying to get by these guys, and he's in front of that pack, and that's where you want to be. If you're in a pack, you want to be in the front of it. And here he comes going on the outside of Gregory, it looks like.
Talked about Jason McCord at the top of this event. Dave Argabright went to his home. He's the new dad of triplets. That's quite a challenge, certainly. 19th on the grid here today, making a move for 8th spot with 30 miles still to go.
He's wanting a yellow flag right now because the cars are spread out. He needs a little bit of help. There's no way that if it goes straight green that he can make up that much time to the leaders. But if a yellow flag comes out, it packs the guys right back up, and he's got another opportunity to still win this race.
Onto the front straightaway. Lap traffic is a factor. Tice Carlson holds his line. Everybody funnels by, and McCord has moved around Lewis for 8th spot. Here comes Chet Phillip in that 77. The dull black paint scheme on the nose.
Davey, you talked about needing a yellow. I talked to Brian Tyler this morning, and he was real confident with his car. The same with Michael Lewis, their teammates. And they were going to kind of sit and ride for a little while. They have made up some ground, but with it being a long run under green like this, and the cars have gotten spread out, the patience that they've shown earlier is not going to pay off because they'll be too far from the leader.
Absolutely. There's different strategies you can take. And one of them is to lay back and save your car, save your tires, and hope at the end that you can have a yellow to pack back up and then give it what you got.
Here comes Steele now to the outside, I'm sorry, not Steele, but Chet Phillip in the 77. Working on Michael Lewis there in the 85, one of the Prit Express Team 6R machines. He and Brian Tyler. Those yellow cars.
It's another thing, the Phillip brothers who build their own race cars, and it's a one-of-a-kind car. Nobody else has one. They just try to figure it out on their own. Their fun in racing is being able to design, build, do their own body work, do everything on their own, and that's their satisfaction. And he can win races, and he has won races, but he can't go off anybody else's setup or what anybody else is doing. It's all on their own.
Well, they also own Advanced Racing Suspensions in Indianapolis, a shock building company. Many of these teams utilize their shocks, and they kind of use their race car as a test vehicle. But like Davey said, they sure don't want to go buy a car from somebody. That's half the fun. We always kind of kid them about working real hard at having the race car that's not the prettiest out there, but it's got some of the neatest suspension gadgets on it. Every time they show up, something doesn't work, they take it back, change it, and go try again.
Up in front, Steele in the 19 continues to lead. Coming up 25 laps to go of the 100 miles here at Phoenix. Trying to hold back young Ed Carpenter in the 39. Coming up on Tyler Walker. Kerr Bagajanian in 35. On board with Tyler. You can look at that lead battle. Different lines out of turn 2 here at Phoenix.
What a great view, being able to watch the leaders like you're right in front of them. That's a fun shot to be able to see what the leaders are going through, trying to get by lap traffic. Now Steele wants him just to pull over and get out of the way, but unfortunately that's not the way it works in this sport. You got to work your way around lap cars too.
Steele will try the inside. That's not usually the preferred way to pass here on the front straightaway. Carpenter says, hey, I may get a shot here.
Exactly right. Ed has nothing to lose. He goes where Dave doesn't. But then again, here comes Tracy, maybe trying to get him back.
Tracy Hines sitting back there third in the 37. Steele able to hang on to the top spot over Carpenter. Boy, these guys are getting after it. What a way to open the season here on Speed. Down the front straightaway.
Even though this race is 100 laps, it's still a sprint race.
Yeah.
You know, these guys, Brian, as you know, we race these cars, and I never have just taken it easy. Even if you say you're going to, and you tried to, you're usually on the gas trying to go forward.
You only run a 100-mile race every now and then, and these guys run 30-lap races all summer long, all winter long, if they've got the chance to go down under. So the mentality is just to go as hard as you can for every lap. And it's difficult sometimes and Dave Steele, that's where he looks like he's going so hard, but he can still keep from wearing the tires out somehow.
Working lap number 79, Steele in that black 19 out of Tampa, Florida is your leader. Ed Carpenter from Indianapolis in the 39, running in second spot. Lapping by P.J. Jones in the 111, the Snyder car with a severe push. That car is way tight, you can tell.
Yeah, he's not having that much fun right now, I'll guarantee you.
P.J., one of my favorite guys in the sport. Certainly hoping to see him have a good run today. Just hasn't quite worked out that way. Coming up on 20 to go, we'll be back with more of the Silver Crown opener at Phoenix. Welcome back here on Speed alongside Davey Hamilton. I'm Rick Benjamin. Coverage of the Copper World Classic, the season opener for the United States Auto Club here on Speed. We'll be with you all summer long. Great racing coast to coast in the midgets, the sprint cars, and these wild Silver Crown machines. Watching the top three cars, Dave Steele, the pole sitter, defending race champion with 20 to go, looking for 2 straight here at PIR, but he's got his hands full. Young Ed Carpenter in a borrowed machine. The Hoffmans have borrowed that 39 car from the Fike family. They've come from 13th on the grid to 2nd. Now Carpenter was flying up through the pack. Catching the leader's one thing, passing him is something else, isn't it, Davey?
That's absolutely true. I mean, when you're leading a race, you can make those cars very wide, and so actually catching up to them, and you could be a lot faster, but getting around them is a complete different story. But once you get around them, it's clear sailing. But you know, as we keep talking about Dave, we keep repeating it, that car always looks so loose, but he's still very fast.
Yeah, and the one thing about Dave, I know him and have worked with him and driven as a teammate with him a couple times, and you know, he does have a spotter, but he doesn't like to hear too much talk on the radio.
P.J. Jones, yeah, looks like the motor just gave up on the Snyder 111 car, and P.J. gets it down below the yellow line and brings it to a stop on pit road. Smoke under the hood.
There's your yellow. Well, that's right. The yellow flag is out. So here's the guys. Here's the strategy of the guys that laid back, maybe saving the tires. They have their opportunity. And unfortunately, not only was he having a tough day getting the car to turn, unfortunately the motor let go on that thing today.
So P.J. Jones is out of the race. Dave Argabright.
Well, we're heading down to PJ's car. He bailed out pretty quickly. Looks like the race car got awfully hot. We see a lot of fluid on the left side of the car. It's obviously he's done. We see coolant mixed with oil. We've got PJ here, and we'll try to get a word with him. And he's taking that helmet off. And he was struggling with the race car a little bit all day, it looked like, and just not the way he wanted his day to end. See if we can get in here. PJ, obviously the engine let go. Did you have any kind of warning?
It was slowing down, and we could have missed on the car. I probably made a mistake this morning, probably with the chassis. I mean, it's disappointing because I thought we had a really good car and just missed it. And it started tightening up a little bit. It was funny all day long. Something just wasn't right.
You got out pretty quickly. You're okay? No burns?
Oh, no. Everything's fine.
Qualified 7th in that 111. Looking for a great day here today. Didn't quite work out that way. 17 miles to go. We're under caution. We'll be back at Phoenix. Ready to restart at Phoenix. 8 laps to go as they come by Dave Argabright. What's going to happen to Dave Steele here?
Well, the crew was very concerned about the restart. He got a good restart. The car had not been functioning that well on restarts all afternoon, but what they just radioed Dave, as crew chief Bob and car owner Bob Grattan just told him on the radio, listen, if you don't overdrive it, you can win this thing.
Boy, we just seen Ed Carpenter had problems. He put his hand outside the cage, let everybody know that he's slowing down. Something must have happened to his car. Unfortunately, he was running so good. Had an opportunity to win, but something broke on Ed's car, looks like.
He's backpedaled all the way to 6th. Carpenter with a great drive had come from 13th to 2nd in the 39. He may not make it to the checkers. We were talking here during the break about how he's one of the few drivers up front still looking for his first career Silver Crown win. It won't come today either.
That's unfortunate. Something definitely broke in that car. It could have been in the drivetrain, everything hot. When you get back on the throttle, who knows what happened. But
it's hard to say. The Kaufmans may have a different fuel mileage in that car than they have in their own car. They may not have got enough fuel, and it was idling when it rode by. But maybe, like Davey said, it could be drive line, it could be fuel. It's hard to tell.
Coming up 5 laps to go. Next time by, Dave Darland in the black 92 car now is up to 3rd. J.J. Yaley slipped badly on the restart in the oil dry. He's back to 4th. The 11th car, Jay Drake, next in line. Paul White is back there in the 10. White was the 2001 Silver Crown champion. He opened his year here a year ago upside down on the front straightaway. He's on his way to a much better day as well.
Bentley Warren and Chet Phillip both coming up a long ways. They're still running together in 7th and 8th, but they started way back in the field, and geez, I think they were like 15, 16 somewhere there.
Phillip, of course, a great veteran. He's raced in the Indy 500. He's raced in Winston Cup. He and his brother Corey have that suspension business we talked about earlier. Bentley Warren now racing on a Kennebunkport, Maine in the zone number 29, the working car. Bentley well into his 60s. One of my heroes in New England racing. That's the part of the country I hail from. And I can remember when I was a boy, Bentley was the king of the super modifieds in the Northeast. So to see him competitive here in these cars is just a wonderful, wonderful thing. Watching the leaders head down into 3. Dave Argabright, what's happened to Ed Carpenter's car?
Well, crew chief Rob Hoffman just told us that they're not sure exactly what happened, but they believe they cut a right rear tire in that yellow flag.
That can happen with all the debris that might be on the track late in the race. Meantime, here comes Tracy Hines in the 37. 2 to go next time by. He's got the whip out. He's really putting pressure on Steele as they head toward 3.
He's going to give it everything he has, but back to the thing, Dave Steele, the lead of the race is not going to be that easy to pass, and you can see them both hanging the back of the cars out these last laps.
Well, I can tell you one thing. These guys were teammates with Bob Gratton for about a year and a half. Bob downsized his team, and Tracy was the odd man out, and Steele's still there. So I guarantee you that Tracy wants to pass Steele and make sure Bob knows he's still around.
Tracy certainly landed on his feet. That Indiana Underground team with the Mopar backing, certainly a very strong force, and they will be all year long in the Silver Crown Series. Here comes the white flag for David Steele out of Tampa, Florida, out of turn 4. 1 to go here at Phoenix. Tracy Hines about 4 car lengths back down into 1. Closes it up in 2. Where will he triumph, Davey Hamilton?
Well, the only place he has now is try to drive into turn 3 deeper, try to get a little bit of a run on him, but I just think he's too far back. I don't think he'll be able to pull it off.
David Steele going for 2 in a row in the Silver Crown season opener here at Phoenix. Out of the final corner, coming to the stripe. David Steele, the pole sitter, will win the season opener in the Well Racing Silver Crown Series for the United States Auto Club. Dave Darland scores 3rd. Yaley is 4th. Phillip in the 77 comes home 5th ahead of Drake. Bentley Warren 7th. White is 8th. Brian Tyler, Mike Lewis, and Russ Gamester, the first 11. What a great run for Steve.
Absolutely. 2 in a row, starting on the pole 2 years in a row. He's got the dominant car here, and he knows this place. He loves coming to Phoenix.
And a good drive for Dave Darland, the former champion of this series in the 92. Lined up outside the 4th row. He charges all the way up to 3rd at the checkered flag. Great run for David Steele. Gets his season off to a wonderful start. We'll see a lot of him all summer long. And we'll talk to the winner when we come back here on Speed.
Well, here we are with Dave Steele. Boy, he's happy pulling those gloves off and going to try to get that helmet off. David, were you at all concerned with those late yellow flags?
Absolutely. I mean, like I say, I can't say enough about my car owner, Bob Gratton, and my whole crew, Donnie, UJ, all them guys. I mean, he gives me a great car to run. I love this car. And like I say, we was running as hard as we could. And then early in the race, I saw the 37 stick his nose in there, and I figured probably better dig down a little deeper, and we did. And they were right there, but we was lucky enough. Got to thank Hoosier Tire, Joe Conroy, Northside Propane, and just everybody. Gertie Engines did a good job. Eagle Jet International. So, man, we just love winning. It's great.
If I didn't know you better, I think we were going to get some tears there. What a happy winner with Dave Steele.
Great way to start the season. Very strong run for Steele. Qualified on the pole, wins 2 of these Phoenix Silver Crown season openers in a row, and he certainly set himself up for a great year, Davey Hamilton.
Absolutely. You know, Dave Steele has never been that great on dirt, but he's learning. He had some good runs last year. I'm looking forward to him trying to get his first USAC Silver Crown Championship, and he's off to the right start on the pavement right here at Phoenix.
Certainly may be the year. Brian Gerster, want to thank you for joining us. Exciting to see from up here, isn't it?
It is. It was nice to be with you guys and kick the USAC season off here on Speed.
Great run for David Steele, the winner today in car number 19 after qualifying here on the pole. Hines finishes second. Darlin comes to third. Yaley hangs on for fourth. Good run for Phillip to fifth. Bentley Warren to seventh. Paul White comes home with the top 10. Brian Tyler, Michael Lewis, the rest of the first 10 here at Phoenix. Second 10, Gamester and Ron Gregory. Danny Everts, Jimmy Kite comes back after that early problem to finish 14th ahead of A.J. Fike and Tyler Walker. Knopfsinger backpedaled to 17th. Donnie Schatz, Carpenter with that cut tire. He was up to second, has to take 19th and go home today. Matt Westfall rounds out our first 20. Coming up next for the United States Auto Club here on Speed, it'll be the National Sprint Car Series opener from Eldora. You'll see it here April the 10th at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. As always, all the motorsports information you need available on our website 24/7, which is speedtv.com. For Dave Argabright and Davey Hamilton, I'm Rick Benjamin. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next time here on Speed.